This is YG Nyghtstorm. Welcome to my vlog. Let's get it.
Newsflash. Another young black man dead through violence. That's what's rolling on the TV so often. That okay, we see it. You hungry? Let's go get something to eat. That is how desensitized we are when we see these stories. Now last year, an unfortunate event happened dealing with the Trayvon Martin case. A young man who had some iced tea and some Skittles was walking back home to his father's home, and he was targeted by a neighborhood watchman named George Zimmerman. He followed the young man, called the police. The police told him to back off and let them do their job. And as a neighborhood watch, you're just simply supposed to watch. Now, there is no law on following people. And as a neighborhood watch person, George Zimmerman had every right to follow. But where he messed up at, he directly tried to have a confrontation with this young man. And I will say that rights flow both ways. Trayvon Martin had a right to be walking through the neighborhood. Trayvon Martin had a right to be walking back to his father's house. And when questioned by George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin had the right to tell him, "I'm not answering any of your questions. It's none of your business. I have no clue who you are. You're just some strange, creepy man following me. I don't have to tell you where I'm going. I don't have to tell you my name. You're not a police officer, so no." He had every right to do that. Now, I wasn't there. None of us were there, but obviously something bad happened. A young man lost his life, and another man is in prison, who pretty much his life is over. However the trial turns out, however the case turns out, good luck, buddy. You're not going to have a productive life after this. And in the Trayvon Martin case is not unique. There are a lot of young black men targeted, some very much unfairly, simply just walking down the street or riding in a car, playing their music, targeted by police officers or other folks who just think they're criminals because they have a lot of melanin in their skin and they just don't belong on this side of town or in this neighborhood. I get that. I was targeted when I was young, and I wasn't doing anything but sitting at a stoplight, drinking a Coca-Cola, eating a hamburger, and I was told to pull over because I looked like I was doing something suspicious. I think I was 23 at the time, and it pissed me off, but I had to understand that I couldn't get too snazzy with this police officer because he was looking for an excuse to pull a bullet in my head. I had to take it easy, show him my identification. He left me alone, and I drove off very upset. But I'm not going to give that police officer an excuse. Also, I want to talk about not only are we being unfairly targeted, but as young black men out there who are listening to this, you are being fairly targeted at some times. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. It's already bad when folks prejudge you simply by your appearance and the way you walk. It's another thing when you're actually proving the stereotype right. Because a lot of people don't talk about this. We want to play victim so many times. And a lot of the times, we bring a lot of stuff on ourselves. Now, I'm not saying Trayvon Martin brought upon his own death. I'm not saying when I was at that parking lot, I brought upon this crazy cop wanting to profile me. I'm not saying that. But I will tell you this. If I was 20 years old and I'm walking down the street and my pants are sagging all the way off of my behind, and I'm walking around being disrespectful, loud and obnoxious, cussing out women, calling them you know what, and calling them outside of their name, being aggressive to strangers, and saying, "Hey, what you looking at? Just because I'm doing something, know what I'm saying, shawty? You know, me and you need to be looking at me, shawty, know what I'm saying, shawty. Now, looking at that, you're going to draw some attention to yourself, and people are going to get the correct idea about you. You are ignorant. Period. You can't blame nobody else for saying, look at those black guys, they're ignorant. Look how stupid they are. Whose fault is that? Yours. As a matter of fact, I saw a particular video just recently about a mother in Atlanta got tased by a police officer. And you guys need to look that video up. She was just acting crazy. He asked her to leave the mall, and her 5 children were there, and her friend, they were all cussing him out, calling him gay. The children were calling him gay. She was getting all in his face and eventually started swinging on him and pushing on him and trying to jump on him. And then he tased her, and she wondered, why did he do that? He didn't have a right to tase her. Yes, he did. You were acting ignorant. You were acting a fool, and you were putting your hands on somebody and doing things you had no business doing, and being a very, very, very poor excuse of an example to your children. It was terrible. And then the father comes out of nowhere after 5 minutes of all this drama going on. You never even seen him in the video. And the only thing when he comes into the video, he said, why you doing that to my babies in front of my babies? You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. He not one time told the mother of his children, stop. He not one time told his children to shut up and respect an adult. He didn't understand what they were doing wrong because they're ignorant. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you care about your children, raise them right. Show them how to be respectful. Because too many of our young black men and women, I will say, have this false sense of what being black is all about. Instead of focusing on education and trying to do the things we need to do to better ourselves, they think this is black. Know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing, shawty, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, shawty, you ain't nothing, you ain't nothing, shawty, you ain't nothing. That's not being black. That's just being a fool. Stop getting yourself targeted. When people are targeting you unfairly, fight back. When people are targeting you because of you, stop it.